I think without the sex talk, married women, I may call me naive. I think if you're keeping your wife genuinely happy, like you provide, you keep her safe, you do spontaneous things, y'all go on trips. So even if she wants those 50 a month, if you're giving her 30 to 35, I don't think she's going to cheat because she's missing out on 20 or 15. Now, she may try to initiate more to get closer to that 50, but I don't think minus toys, the women are going to cheat. That might be naive.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers in No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I'm Ferg, join my co-hosts Buff and Rozzy. Fellas, what it do?
Man, I don't know if y'all president just doesn't catch hints or he just
President
does
of
not
what?
care. Of the United States of America, these United States, because the FIFA Club World Cup came and they, the winners were on the stage and they were getting their trophy. And Donald Trump, since it's here in the United States, he gave them the trophy and then didn't move. And the commissioner was like trying to move him out of the way and everything. He just stood there while they lifted the trophy up and tried to get in there. Shout out to the team. They like kind of pushed them to the back a little bit, and then they edited them out of the picture, their official post of the picture. So they just removed them off of it. But it was hilarious to see, like, he just stood there, but he pushes himself to the front of pictures and everything. He did that at the G7. He did it at a bunch of other like events where a bunch of foreign leaders and everything come together. So I don't know if it's just him doing that or him just not catching the like what should be happening in the social cues, but it's just hilarious to see. And not just based on that, but based on like his immigration policy and everything like that, FIFA has actually started looking at whether they want to move the 2026 World Cup from the United States. And they were co-hosting it with US, Canada, and Mexico. And they're thinking about taking it away from the United States and just using Canada and Mexico. They're using a little bit of the immigration stance because like Iran, they qualified. And so, they're on like kind of our ban list. They can't come into the United States, yada, yada, yada. So I don't know how that's going to work. But either way it goes, it's kind of, I actually agree with FIFA. They probably should move it at this point. I know it's going to be a lot of lost tourism and everything. I really wanted to go to one of the matches, but so be it.
Nothing's gonna be better than his rebuttal or his response after they take it away, and how soccer is an inferior sport and nobody really understands the rules and it's not good enough for America. It's gonna be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all plays out. We'll keep you guys updated on that. Keeping with kind of U.S. news and everything like that, I just want to let you guys know that more U.S. farms filed for bankruptcy in the first 6 months of 2025 than all of 24 together. So 259 bankruptcy filings from farms. It's the highest yearly total since 2021, and we're only 6 months in. Based on that data. So yeah, are we winning yet? I mean, are we great again? Let's just kind of figure that out. And finally, for the educators out there, just want to let you guys know that Health and Human Services, your boy RFK Jr. and that group has decided that Head Start is not an educational program. It is a welfare benefit. And so based on that, they're already trying to cut Head Start and all this other stuff. It's just one more attack on poor people and not letting them get ahead. They did that with capping the loans that you can get in college for grad school, that type of thing. Now they're working on early education. They want to dumb down America. And I just want you guys to know that and watch out for that and be aware that that's happening, because they want to dumb you down and they want to get all these immigrants out of here so that they can't have babies and kill birthright citizenship so that they can keep their majority. It's white nationalism. It's play by play, the book. So just watch it. And so when you look back 5 years from now, you can say Three Brothers No Sense told you so. So that's all I got, man.
I actually didn't have anything until you began talking, Rozzy. I think they want to definitely keep a certain segment of America dumb. They need a certain percentage of this country to stay dumb and stay poor. And Head Start was one of those things that really helps. It helps family. Like my wife is directly involved with that program, so I know the good things that they do. Ferg, you were saying how it would be funny to hear what they say once we lose FIFA. We've already heard the conservative talking points on this before. They feel like it does more harm than good to the economy of the hosting city and country because of how much you have to spend and everything. It only helps like the hospitality industry to a certain extent, but it's no benefit to any of the citizens or the people in the particular town. So if we do lose it, you'll hear a lot of that. Only thing I got, man, we found out that the president has swollen ankles. There's a vein condition with swollen ankles, and if not for people pointing that out, I don't think the White House would have ever let us know because he likes to paint himself as the most healthiest person in the world. But I was just thinking, man, before we got on, yo, and I think I've said this before, but we really are witnessing the most, I would say, the most influential and to a certain extent powerful president I've ever seen in my lifetime. I sit back and I don't know whether to marvel at it, be disgusted at it. I like it's fascinating and it's demoralizing at the same time to watch these institutions that are supposed to check and balance so that everything is equal and hold other branches of government, other entities of government accountable. And we're not getting that. And as Ferg has, hell, I was about to say jokingly said, but hell, it's it's really not a joke for real. We may not even have another election. Like we keep talking about what the Dems should do in 2028.
Damn the Dems.
Do what? Like it may not even be an election. I'm constantly seeing how they're trying to fight back and the strategies they plan on talking to. Andy Bashir, the governor of Kentucky, was saying how we need to stop talking like AI, politically correct politicians, and be real with American people. Governor Newsom is trying to redistrict his state and do some of the things that conservatives have done in the past with the gerrymandering to benefit liberal and Democrat districts. They're trying to, I guess, fight fire with fire. And I heard, was it your guy, Beto O'Rourke from Texas, Ferg? He essentially said it's time for Dems to stop worrying about being right and worried about being in power. And so that is a dynamic shift for the party. And I don't know. I know a lot of people celebrate that. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. It sounds good. It sounds great. Like, yeah, we need to just win. But I don't want a side that I root for to turn into the exact replica of a side that I disagree with most of the time.
Do you think they would, strategy wise, campaign wise, maybe, but maybe I'm giving politicians and people in power too much credit. Do you think the Dems could ever, how do you replicate this? It's like, what do you do on the other side?
Mom Donnie.
That would,
Mom Donnie. That's it, right? That's how you replicate it.
And he is starting off. Remember how conservatives didn't know how to quite take Trump at first? They were against him. They were never Trumpers. You're almost seeing that on a smaller scale with him. Like,
yeah,
he's more of a socialist, right?
Yeah,
he's a democratic socialist. He's with the AOC, Bernie Sanders crowd, and all of that, and he's a Muslim. And so,
do you see this as a negative, though?
I don't think it's a negative because I'm a Bernie bro. So like for me, I'm like, yeah, all on, let's do it. And so, but I think the issue comes in, like you're saying, the establishment doesn't like it, but that's how you win. Right. Like I saw a meme that was saying, it was like Democrats were saying, how do we connect to, men and young kids and women and this, that, and other. And Mom Donnie was like, yeah, I'm 70% plus with men. I'm like, or 30% plus with men. I'm 70% plus with women. I am like plus 80% with kids under 40 or something like that, or people under 40. And Democrats is like, yeah, no, not that though. We got to figure something else out. Like it's one of those things that you talk about that never Trump. It is that it's the same thing they did to Bernie. It's the same thing they did to AOC. They kind of say, hey, stay in your lane. You know, we're not with the Green New Deal. We're not with that crazy stuff you're talking. But I really do think if they really embrace that platform, they would win over some of those median folks that are kind of the populist folks. That's the problem. I think the Democrats go for this higher educated, trying to be right, like you mentioned, Buff. I think they're doing that instead of just being populist and saying, what do you guys want, right? And stop trying to make the deals and all that stuff and really go and say, nope, we're trying to do universal health care. I don't care what the insurance industry is saying. We want universal health care. And I think you said it, Buff. It's like, why don't we just do it on a state level, right? Like do a state Medicaid or Medicaid care that says we're going to offer universal health care in this state, right? New York can do it. California can do it. You know, and just say, we're going to do it on our side and we don't care what everybody else is doing. I think that'll start snowballing.
I guess my question, yeah, and thank you for explaining that. I think my question more so was if Trump, I don't even know if he's far right. Trump is far gone, if that's a category.
I mean, he's Trump. He's just whatever.
You know, Maldani, like I think he may be further to the left than most people we've seen in the past, right? Which goes back to saying, is it a bad thing? I think Trump's biggest problem is we're one step away from autocracy. And I don't foresee any other US politician trying to do that like him. And so that's my thing. Even if you got a Maldani or you got a Bernie, like whoever, far leftist, I don't see anybody like, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're going to say, screw the Supreme Court, screw whoever, screw federal judges, screw Congress,
Yeah, we don't even care if Congress is going to do it or not. Universal health care. And so if, say, Bernie got in or AOC got in,
you think they
say, you know what? I'm going to make Medicare for everybody. I don't care. And who's going to check me?
Do you think anybody could go that far, or would be allowed to go that
far? Trump has set that precedent, and that's the thing is, I think liberals, if we have an election, if they do get in, I think they could go that far and try to do that.
I actually have a problem with populism. Like, I think populism is good at energizing people, and it's good for campaigning and drawing big crowds. It is not good at governing.
Say what you want to say, Buff.
It's not. People. I mean, because we're comparing it to Trump. He's not good at governing. He doesn't know basic things. He just says things, and then he tries to make people scramble to get it done. Like you mentioned the Green New Deal. The Green New Deal was flawed, and that's why it didn't go anywhere. So populist people have great ideas, and they sound great, and they actually would be great if they could be implemented. The problem is, these politicians that support those type of platforms never really know how to implement it without it causing more harm.
Yeah.
Like the Green New Deal was going to be expensive as hell. So I like populism to a certain extent, but we have to get the energy of it, but also follow it up with the teeth to implement it and turn it into law. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of young people excited to see somebody speak, and then on election day, they don't bother to show up.
Yeah, I think the most dangerous thing we can do is follow up with another Trump, even if it's a left-leaning version of Trump who says screw the Constitution.
Yeah,
screw up like that. That's dangerous.
Because if we're gonna go down that road, then what's the point of a legislative and judicial branch? You know, like let's just be ruled by one person, and you know that, because he definitely has eliminated the effectiveness of other entities of government.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing is his base, his populace, and I thought you were going to call them stupid, Buff, but they're stupid. And so, as much as you want universal health care, Bernie got elected and you saw Bernie or whoever doing the things or taking the measures that Trump is taking, you would not support him. as much as you want certain things, I think the average American, the average person leaning left is not like, nah, we're not about to screw the Constitution. We got soldiers in freaking California. Like, we're not going to accept that. We wouldn't be cool with that. As much as we want a certain thing, bring back DEI. We're at what expense? I think that's the difference. So,
and I definitely agree with all that. I think what it comes down to though is getting elected, being able to get in power versus being right. We've got to say those things and we've got to do those things to get in power. So we might not like it, me, you, me, Fur, Buff, but at the same time, if the population wants that, and my biggest thing with the Democrats is they need to stop looking for those AI generated, oh, how does this gonna go, and just say what they mean and stand on it. Right? If they are running on universal healthcare, run on universal healthcare. Say it and say that's our platform. I think their platform is too watered down. I think their platform is trying to be everything to everybody instead of saying, here's simplified, right? Here's the 4 things that we want to get y'all, because that's what Trump does. Trump says, here's the 3 things I'm gonna do, the 4 things I'm gonna do. And like you say, Buff, he's bad at governing because he doesn't give a shit about the other stuff. Yeah. He doesn't care about any of that. He's like, I'm gonna do these 4 things that I told y'all I was gonna do, and I'm gonna do it. And I think that's what the Democrats need to do. They need to say, hey, you elect us, you will have universal health care. You won't have health care bills anymore.
Like, you got reports saying that he didn't know. And it's a report, so I don't know if it's true, but you got reports saying he didn't know that Medicaid was going to get cut like it did with the big, beautiful bill. They're just, like, he wants things, but he doesn't know how it's done. And he doesn't know the effects that it's going to cause. And sometimes I don't think he cares. What were you about to say, Ferg?
I think, and we've said something along these lines, and I'll save my talking points. I really don't have a lot to talk about, but the 3 or 4 things, I wonder what that would be with the Democratic Party that would get us as galvanized, because a lot of his things are centered around anger and fear. And so, do you have something that when you have white nationalists would get them as excited, like immigration, for somebody? What's the equivalent to immigration? Because my country is being attacked by immigrants, and so I feel that. What's going to get Byron or Razi that excited about, like, if we don't fix this, our country's gone. Right? If we don't have universal health care.
The problem is we're the big tent, right? The Democrats are the big tent. And that's the problem, is DEI would get us galvanized, but it won't get the other 60% of the Democratic base, right? And so that's the thing, that big tent issue with Democrats.
Not even just that. Like,
there's no one thing that's going to really get everybody. They tried that. They tried that with hanging their hat on abortion. Right. And they saw that didn't work. They tried it on D. That didn't work because because we have a coalition and we're not homogenous instead of homogeneous. Right. We don't, like, we're not homogenous. So at that point, every time we try to put something in our platform, it pisses somebody else off in our base, right? And so that's our issue. There is no one thing that can galvanize the Democrats versus one thing that can galvanize your Republicans.
I question, are we still a big tent party? Because of that, what you said, that, the party welcomes all these different people, but soon as one idea goes against another, then they're going to do like they did in Michigan during the primaries to Joe and Kamala and say, we're going to protest vote and not vote at all. So, I wonder, can we still be considered a big tent party?
Not just that. I'm just thinking, are the issues, let's say we found a couple of common issues. Abortion was, I think, most people on the left got behind. Let's use that as an example, right? It wasn't impactful enough. Even if 70% of the Democratic Party was behind it, it wasn't impactful enough as immigrants are taking over our country. I want my country back.
Because I think that's a broader problem for more people. I put problem in quotations, but there are more people that feel they are affected by illegal immigration than abortion.
And it touches them. And it's like, and they get passionate about it. Like, we're like, hey, you know what? Outlawing abortion, that's messed up. We shouldn't do that. And that's about as far as we go.
Right.
We don't get it. That's what I'm saying. Like, are there topics on the left that get us riled up? Even if you found one that was like, you know what, 70% of us, abortion, whatever those things where we're like, we're getting our guns together and all this stuff, and we're helping ICE.
The left needs a boogeyman. Is what you're saying.
The left needs those things.
Yeah,
you know.
And they've been trying so hard. They tried it with Trump. They tried to make Trump the boogeyman, and the problem is you can't have a individual as the boogeyman. You need a group. You need a block. You need something that's so big that it can touch you, right? A lot of people don't feel like Trump's policies affect them. That's what you hear from a lot of those like black conservatives, right? They're like, y'all are talking about Trump, but Latinos for Trump, they don't feel like his policies are going to touch them until it does. And that's the same thing with abortion. That's the same thing with universal health care. There's a lot of Democrats that universal health care is not a big deal for them because they have health care. A lot of those, when you talk about the Democrats that have that through their workplace and all of that, they're like, I really don't need that. And then you hear the Republicans are so good about that boogeyman of, the super long wait lines with universal health care. And, you might not get what you need and this, that, and other. And so they've demonized it to the point where it's even hard to galvanize around universal health care. There's no one, there is no boogeyman. There's no one thing for Democrats to galvanize around.
I don't think and even the things we do galvanize around aren't as poignant.
I think they've tried, instead of demonizing a group, I think they've tried to energize women. Like women are, if I'm not mistaken, they're the biggest voting bloc, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even, I think like you just said, for even women that are against abortion, they'll just go as far as to say, women that are against abortion, they'll just go as far as to say, that's messed up, but that's not. Like, I would never have an abortion. This whole pro-choice, pro-life thing doesn't affect me because I would never do it. And women should have the right, blah, 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 but it's not, like, even if they feel like women should have the right, abortion isn't a hill they're willing to die on.
And it's not for everybody, right? It's like I'm against it, and my state is too, so I'm good. Like, it's, when you start dividing it by states, let's say it's 50-50. 25 states, yes, 25 states. If the women who aren't affected don't stand up and support the women who are, that could be half your voting block. Then the other half that are affected in that state, maybe they just follow their husbands, or it's not simple enough. It's divide and conquer method.
Hey man,
states' rights is a great thing when you look at it, but it doesn't galvanize voting blocks, because if it doesn't affect me, if they raise like we're raising state taxes across the board, I'm like, that's messed up. We don't have state taxes. Hey man, may the odds ever be in your favor.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's sad, man. That's messed up. The working class is gonna, the big beautiful bill, man. That sucks. But hey,
we all watch sports. We've seen in basketball series when they say this is a must win. Like, they're down 2-1, they can't afford to go down 3-1. It's 2028, assuming we have an election. Is that a must win for Dems?
It is. It is.
Because to give context, the Dems have lost 3 presidential elections in a row. Reagan, H.W. Bush. So they were able to come back from it. This would only be 2 elections in a row, but it just feels bigger. Like, they just won in 2020.
Hey, we're not 6 months in, bro. Y'all act like it's about to get better. Dude, do you think what he's done in the last 6 months, if he continues on this path?
I just wanted to give context that, like, even if they lose, that's only 2 in a row, and they have lost in our lifetime 3 in a row. But it feels like they're down 3-1.
But it was politics as usual. This isn't even this. This is that video game or that movie where, like, hey, you come to a 2 path. This path is to certain death, and this path is to eternal life. Like, we're the three losses in the past, it was still government as usual.
I believe the Dems had Congress. At least they had Congress at the time.
And I mean, speaking of that, like, they're restructuring. Like, that's a big thing that right now, gerrymandering is already on top. Texas is all over it.
I think, to your point, I don't think it's a must-win presidency. I think it's must-win Congress. I think that's where, like,
He doesn't
2026.
care
20
about Congress.
6 and
What are we
7. Well, he doesn't care right now because there's like you don't
'Cause
have
he have 'em in
any
his pocket.
concerns, right?
Yeah.
Like he owns them, right? Like there's a huge difference of if they, because that's what Republicans are running on right now. They're like, if we win 2025 or 26, if we lose 26, then Trump's policy and his administration is essentially dead at that point. That's what they're running on. They're running on that fear of, if we lose the House, Trump is not, his agenda is going to be dead. And I think I do kind of think that. I think 26 is more of a must win than 28.
He is, but a Democratic controlled Congress helps. It helps. It at least keeps him from getting all 6 Infinity Stones.
Exactly. It's Doctor Strange holding up everything. Like,
the time and the Vision Stone, we'll still have that.
Right.
And then once again, you act like he's going to surrender Congress.
They were able to slow him down. I get what you're saying, that he's even bigger and badder this time around. But I do think if they're able to get the House, and if they're able to get the House, that's good. If they're able to get the House and the Senate, then you definitely are looking at. And listen, you may prove us wrong, but I think if they're able to get one of the houses of Congress, we will see a difference. I get it, though. I get it.
This is so close to Game of Thrones, and y'all giving this dude way too much, not enough credit to just manipulate and just give two shit about whatever he wants to do.
It's a different movie, but Game of Thrones and Gladiator are similar. Win the crowd. If you win Congress, his power is the crowd. He has to have the crowd to a certain extent.
He's losing his base, and they basically called him stupid. Like, they doesn't care.
They get in line. He ain't losing. They're upset. But if the election was held tomorrow, they still would go for him.
Yep.
They're just upset.
Because
that turned into a whole question.
It did.
Yeah. It has been a question. So what is his biggest snafu so far? What has upset his base the most?
Epstein files. Yep.
Epstein.
Yeah. Because you got to think, a lot of his followers are conspiracy theorists. So when you think about the Epstein files, there's so many conspiracies around it. He should have released it. Even if, I don't care, like, what he should have done is just doctored the shit out of it, took his name out of it, redacted it, and then released it. Like, if he just wanted to protect himself or whatever, he should have just released it after he did whatever he needed to do to take his name out of it and protect who he wanted to protect. Because his base is so gullible that they would have been okay with that. By him not releasing anything or coming out with that lie of, oh, there's no list, I think that's where they're even to the point where that's just going to fuel more conspiracies for them, because they are conspiracy theories.
It's one of the few times his trick didn't work. You know, he tried to blame it. He said it was created by Obama and Clinton and Biden, and that didn't even work this time. So, and I'll say one other thing too. If the cuts in Medicaid begin to start affecting people, like, say, like deporting immigrants that Latinos didn't think would affect them, and now they're like, hey, we didn't vote for this. If Medicaid starts affecting a lot of people in his base, that could
How
begin
could it
to
not
turn around. You're right. You know how they may not know who to blame, even though we know who to blame. They may figure out a way to blame it on the left, but if they know it's because of him,
you know what?
That could
and that goes back to, we talk about Republicans are just better at politics. If you read the bill, a lot of the things that will affect their base happens after the 28 elections. So they structured it where a lot of these cuts and things like that, it'll happen where by the time it happens, they're saying that Democrats are probably going to be in power. And even if they do take back the House or whatever, what'll have to happen is, you talk about the tax cuts and the no taxes on overtime and all that. It's only good for 3 years. And so what'll happen is that Democrats are going to have to go on record where either they're bringing up the taxes back or they're going to have to vote to keep those cuts in. And so Republicans are just smart with structuring and doing all that. It's sad, man.
I mean, I forgot how he said it, but they were talking about the economy. It's like everything good about the economy is Trump's economy, and everything bad is Biden's economy. I mean, I almost feel like that was a quote.
He's pretty much said that before.
I mean, I feel he's verbatim.
He was talking about the unemployment numbers.
Oh yeah, it's just
he was like when the unemployment numbers are good, it's because of me. When it's not, it's because of my predecessor. Or they're fake numbers or whatever like that.
Yeah, he didn't even try to sugarcoat it. What they gonna ask you? How you want to say? I'm just gonna say good Trump, bad Biden.
Super political segment.
All right, let's go into it. Rise, I appreciate you foregoing your joke today.
It's funny.
You're on mute, sir, but that was your time for your joke.
Okay, that's fine.
Who wants to go?
Did anybody not get a question last week? Was it you first?
I don't know if I didn't. I have a question. It might be risque. I don't know if we want to go down this rabbit hole. Okay, let's go down this rabbit hole. So, give me. It's a setup that has to happen first. Okay, we all saw the CEO of Astronomer Inc. What is it, Andy Byron, and his worst week ever type thing. His friend. You know, he's resigned and all that stuff. And they showed pictures of him and his special friend, and then they show a picture of his wife, and from what I could tell, his wife looked better than the special friend from the photos I saw. And then, you know, you always go to the comments because there was a lot of conversation about it, and some of it was, well, the wife looks better, but usually, you know, the special friend was doing things that the wife wasn't doing. You know, that's one of always arguments. Like, he had to go someplace else to get what he needed. And they started talking about sex and all this stuff. And it became men cheat conversations. So kind of want to talk about men cheating conversation.
Don't forget she cheated too.
I didn't know that.
She was married. Yeah.
But it made me think about, and this is so random how my mind got there. In relationships, I think when you look at, everybody has their sexual wants and needs, right? Let's say a man and a woman are dating and they have the same sexual needs. Let's say they need to bust 25 times, 50 times a month. Just a random number. Let's say 20 of those times with the partner, your partner, right? Then there's the other time might be masturbation, right? Self-masturbation. This is a weird question. I said it's risque. For men, the options stop there, right? For most men, right? That's acceptable. And even option 2 is not acceptable for a lot of people, right? Option 3 for women is this sex toy industry, right? Sex toy industry in 2024 was a $35 billion industry. And the majority of that is women. I think 70 to 75% of that was women. So this is another outlet, right? This is a third option. Men don't have that third option. And all 3 options are more acceptable for women. Sex with your partner, masturbation, and even toys, which is another form of masturbation, is all acceptable for women, right? For men, you have sex with your partner. Masturbation is all kind of taboo, depending on the circle, right? And sex toys for men is, you know, most people think that nigga's weird.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like the whole doll.
Yeah, like they're just, man, old girl tripping, I had to bring, like that. And so it made me think about cheating. Because for men, if you got 30 on your own, she got 30 on her own. The other 20 are with the rose, dildo, whatever her sex toy of choice is, right? It's a $35 billion industry. And all that is not only allowed, it's almost, for women, it is praised. Like, embrace your sexuality and yada, 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 yada.
They have parties for it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. If there was a male sex party, that would be the weirdest thing in the world, right? And so, and a lot of that, you know, I said 10 out of 50 or 20, 30 out of the 50 are with 20 out of the 50 are with your partner. The other 30 are on your own. And part of that is elevated with additional outlets, right? You're bringing something in. Mm-hmm. Men don't have that option. So if men only bust 20 with a partner, 10 on their own, the other 20, the unacceptable, the obvious outlet is cheating, right?
Which is,
is the sex toy thing, is it almost equivalent to cheating? Because it's like, I don't have any other outlets at this point as a man, right? A woman, maybe they don't, maybe there's a correlation when they're not cheating as much, is because they get their 50 in acceptable ways. Do you think there's a correlation between cheating and the sex toy industry? Because women are able to, and it's way more accepted and applauded for them to embrace their sexuality and meet all their sexual needs. And for a lot of women, they can do it within the confines of their household. Men don't have as much outlet. And disclaimer, in no ways is to reflect my life, my living situation.
It's a hard,
me and my wife gets it in. I am fully happy. But
That's funny.
is that a correlation? Because I'm just sitting there thinking about, like you said, they have parties, they embrace all this stuff. We don't have it. It's just, and so outside of me, for her, outside of her own personal satisfaction, she's bringing an outside entity into the bedroom to please her sexually. If a man is having sex just for the mere point of having sex to get these other 20 nuts, is that like a kissing cousin? I'm not saying it's right. Cheating is bad. I think that was one of our original episodes. Cheating is bad, but it's like, is it kind of like, well, you got to bust 20 nuts with 5 different toys this month, right? Like, you had this, you had that, you had this, so you're good. You met your quota. I gotta jack off 30 times. There's no diversity. Like, you can't go light no
change the scenery.
You can't light no candles because all that starts to get creepy, right? Dog, call me back, man. I'm having some meat time. Like, and it's creepy, and so it just made me think: is there a correlation where women have more sexual outlets and therefore may cheat less?
So I'm gonna say. I'm going to say no, as far as is it comparative to cheating. But the reason why, cheating winds up becoming an issue for a marriage because it's betrayal and it's so to speak taken away from your partner. You took away time from your partner to give to someone else. And so it causes an issue in the marriage because there's such thing. So if you're married and having sex with someone else, isn't necessarily the crime. It's the cheating aspect of it, because we know there are such things as open marriages where somebody can be married and they are allowed to sleep with other people, things like that. It's the deceit behind it that makes the issue for cheating. The reason why I will say that it can be compared to it when it becomes a problem. So like if she's using that toy so much to where Ferg can't get none, to where Rozzy can't get none, to where Buff can't get none, then
or she can't even orgasm without it.
Yes,
there's moments where there's relationships where like the dude can't even get her to orgasm because she uses it so much.
But then that becomes his fault.
That in there.
But it becomes his fault, right?
Well, it probably is.
That's
right.
So I think that's when
you're
you
being trash,
compare. That's when you can compare the two. It's like, hey, this is causing an issue that is affecting our marriage and our sex life. So I think that's when you can compare the two, because you say men don't have a third option. I think, I don't know the statistics, but there are men that have gotten addicted to porn to where they look more forward to watching porn and doing whatever with porn than with their significant other. And that causes an issue. So I think when you want to compare the two, her using a sex toy to a man cheating, at the end of the day, it's causing a conflict and an issue in the marriage. And I think that's when you can compare the two. But the actual act, she's not really causing an issue in the marriage if she's using a toy every so often, but she's still willing and available with you any and every time you're ready.
Yeah.
She got her 50 nuts, Buff. You had 37. Did. You need 13 more. And she's at her quota.
It's inanimate, right? And I think that's where the line is drawn, right? There's still something about an inanimate object, and guys have opportunities to have those toys. It's like you said, it's frowned upon. He might be looked at as weird, but it's not like it's not out there, right? I mean, it's I've told the story, like I own a fleshlight because I was in a long distance relationship, and that was kind of what I didn't like it. I used it like once, but it's one of those things that
Buff's face. I don't remember
I
that.
feel like that's to your mind.
I don't remember that. You can edit that out, Razi. You can edit that out.
But what I'm saying is that there's toys out there for guys too. So let's not act like they don't have access to those toys. And so
I think he meant like it's more frowned upon.
It's access, yeah.
Women have more acceptable things sexually than men.
Right.
I asked Z this other day, and she hesitant, like she probably rather me cheat than be walking around here with a sex doll or what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because that's more normalized, right? That's more the kind of like, would you think she would rather walk in with you? What is it? You said a fleshlight or a doll than another fool? Like that just, I don't know.
But also, I think most women don't mind keeping up with a guy's sex drive.
Cap.
Really? You think so? Like
Cap.
These women that are out there doing having these toys and everything like that. You're saying that they can't give the guy what he needs.
Cap. I mean, during the times they allow, but I mean that is kind of the prevailing story with marriage. Like once you get married, the sex is gonna stop and all the stuff. Like for most couples, sex is not, men aren't getting sex as much as they would want. I mean, there's a reason this is a $35 billion industry, Razi.
But I mean, that's $35 billion, but you say 70% of it is women. So that means the women aren't getting it as much as they would like.
No, not necessarily. It's also the fact that they're able to meet their needs. You talk to a lot of women, sex is connected to their emotions. So if she's not in the right headspace or whatever, she's not going to want to have sex with her husband or her boyfriend, whoever.
But she still might want
that rose or that 27-inch dildo or whatever is still there's no right. And so then you look at, I think I'm surprised you accepted the fact that I think most men, a lot of men in their relationships and marriage aren't getting the sex that they want,
especially once kids.
And so
I mean, timing wise and all of that, I get it.
Whatever that, and as a and for most guys, if your wife's still like it don't take much to turn you on. Like she can walk and turn the light on, like, oh yeah, that's it, that's what I'm talking about, right there. And like you're ready to go,
right?
No more nothing, and so. And I'm not faulting one party or the other.
I just don't want to make it synonymous with cheating or saying that
I'm not saying it's cheating.
But what we're saying is that it's they have access to it. It's almost setting up an excuse for guys to cheat, and I don't want. I don't want to give him any excuse.
I'm not trying to.
Well, I don't have any toys, so I'm gonna go out and get a chick. It's like no, I mean, you've made that decision to be in a committed relationship. You need to have that conversation that, hey, I'm not being satisfied, and so here's our options, right?
Conversations work.
No, but what they do is decisions from those conversations, right? If you say, hey, I'm not getting sex enough, you can't satisfy me, what are we gonna do, right? Either I'm gonna leave or we need to be open. Hey, I need a boys trip every 6 months and I need to go to the DR and get my shit off. Like whatever it is, like have that conversation to be like, here's what our relationship needs to be because I'm not satisfied in it. I think too often folks
please, because I see your face.
No, I believe in that conversation now.
Yeah,
I believe the conversation, the outcome of that conversation.
The decision needs to be made. Dudes need to make the decision.
She may not know, like day-to-day life, she may not realize she's not giving you enough. Okay, she may think, well, we do it on Saturdays and Wednesdays. That's I'm raising 3 kids and all that kind of stuff.
And she might know that it's kind of not enough. She might be even thinking the same thing, like we don't do it enough. But she may not know it's getting to the point where you're like, I'm like ready to leave based on not getting enough. I'm ready to step out and cheat based on that. You got to have that talk to say it's not working. And so that's what I mean. I don't want any of this to be an excuse to be like, well, guys might cheat because they don't have the sex toys or whatever. I think it's you can get your nut off. right? Like whether I can masturbate or I can have a toy to masturbate, you can get a nut. And so that's some right. It's and most
I'm a
times when
push.
guys are cheating, it's not just for the nut. It's like we talked about it, she's doing something else for him, right? She's laughing at his jokes and she rubbing on his chest and she, she
Man,
doming him
niggas
up
just
where his
greedy,
lady don't
man.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
right.
dudes are
I think
greedy.
you're
They're trying to
giving.
do
I think you're giving
more
that way too.
than
I know. I
Niggas
know
is just
personally
greedy.
guys that just cheat because
Yeah.
they want
Yeah.
simple. Like you're just
That's it.
you're and
right,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, dude. I'm
Those
not.
guys are gonna cheat regardless, right? Or they need to be single, right? Those guys may be
Or
they need
they
an
need
open
50,
relationship.
or they need 50 nuts and they're only able to get 30. Put this
I
way.
don't think
Put this
I
way.
don't think getting 50 nuts from one chick would stop them from cheating.
No,
If say their number is 50, if they were getting 50 from the same chick, they probably be like, well, I need 70, right? Like I think they're gonna move the goalpost because it's not about how many nuts they need. It's not about that one chick. It's about them wanting
what do you
that
think women would do
variety,
without their sex
them
toys?
wanting more. Masturbate. They masturbate without the sex toys. They masturbate, and
Then
that's
watch
it.
it a $35 billion.
Because
They
it's more
don't.
fun with the toys. Let's. I mean, they like the addition, the variety of it, right? It doesn't get boring. I get it. I mean, I'm
So
not saying it's
all the
not
same
a
reason you
outlet,
said we talked about variety in the beginning with men. We talked about all these things. So it's
but
just
I don't
because you
think
can
I
go
think for
purchase it
guys,
online.
I think for guys, those toys are very different.
So Ferg, you think without the toys, more women would cheat?
I think so.
What?
I think so because if in a world where we're applauding women, which I feel like people should be able to enjoy their sexual embrace themselves sexually.
So the rose
You know,
prevents cheating. That's what we're saying here.
no, I think there's a link. There's women who's probably doing all of it, right? I just think like it's the fact where there's you're able to.
And or do a lot of what are the breakdown numbers on married women with a rose versus single women? I feel like there's more of a single woman. I'm not saying no married women have it, but I think there's more of a single woman endeavor.
Right.
Like,
And I think that comes down to society saying, hey, women shouldn't have multiple sex partners, blah, 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 blah. You should, be picky about who you dudes will put their in pretty much anything. Right. And so like
not gonna do that. No, we're not gonna do that because women will everything. Flavor Flav has kids. So we not.
Good one. And we're talking about cheating, because people are cheating in relationships, before marriage, so it's
Because I think we talk a lot about how women, like a couple episodes ago, we talked about how women are choosing to be single and finding peace in that. And like Rozzy say, they may not want to they may have that one partner that they sleeping with, but if he's not available because they have a situationship, then she got her rose.
Whereas a dude in a situationship, he gonna have a team or a roster or whatever.
And when it comes to cheating for women, I think without the sex talk, married women, I may call me naive. I think if you're keeping your wife genuinely happy, like you provide, you keep her safe, you do spontaneous things, y'all go on trips. So even if she wants those 50 nuts a month, if you're giving her 30 to 35, I don't think she's going to cheat because she's missing out on 20 or 15. Now, she may try to initiate more to get closer to that 50, but I don't think minus sex toys, women are going to cheat. That might be naive, but I think if you're keeping your woman happy, she will
yeah, and I guess because I hear so many miserable marriages.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, though, Ferg. Like I do kind of think that
am I in one of those bubble things?
I think so. Like I think we have good marriages, and so when you talk to people, I know people who do not have sex as couples. Like they're married, like their shit is full,
like roommates.
Yeah, like and it's so we're sitting like and if they're we said 20 for the month with partners. There's people that don't have 20 for the year, right?
Yeah. And we're talking about nuts, not sex too. That's the other thing. We're talking about orgasms. So, and for women, every time y'all have sex may not be an orgasm. So that's that's a big difference there too. So
yeah,
she may be saying, hey, I want 20 nuts for the year or for the month, and my dude give me 2. Right? We might have sex 20 times, but I only get 2 nuts out of it. And so at that point, she may be like, look, I gotta masturbate, I gotta use this rose, I gotta do something else because
Okay.
I do want actual orgasms there. So I think that's a little bit of it too.
So,
where
but
a
then
lot of these toys come around because women need the orgasm, and it's harder for them to orgasm. Where a guy, you put a porn on and you got your left hand, right hand, you good. Like, you gonna get one. So I think that's very, very different too, where I think they're searching for those orgasms, and that just comes from just sexual empowerment with women since the 1950s, 60s.
So to flip that though, what if she's good with 2 and he needs 20 for the month, right? Like, if there's people, when you're in a committed relationship, it's I'm all you got.
I mean, but again, he's probably going to orgasm, right? He's probably going to nut
Twice. If she's good with having sex twice a month.
So we're saying sex, not her orgasming. Just she's good with.
We're talking about on his part. For me, because sex twice a month, we're talking divorce. I'm just letting you know. Like, these are grounds for divorce.
But again, that goes back to having that conversation of, hey, here's what I need.
That was one of our original conversations.
Like that, we got to have that conversation and I think that's ultimately why I'm just like, I get what you're saying. I get that those toys probably helps that woman not cheat as much. I can concede that piece, right? Because she's getting her orgasm, she's able to do that, so she probably wouldn't cheat. And now that she's not getting those orgasms, right? If that guy can't provide those for her, she doesn't have any toys, chances would probably go up that she would cheat in that relationship.
Let me rephrase it.
I'll give you that.
Let me rephrase it. When you have additional outlets to meet your sexual needs, I think that's what we're looking at. When you look at the fact that whatever that number is, I just made up a number just because it was.
And it could be an open relationship as that additional outlet, right? Like, so that's the thing. It's not cheating at that point because our additional outlet is that we're in an open relationship and you can have more partners.
Once again, I just feel like there's so many men in relationships where they can't voice, they don't feel safe enough to voice their opinion. Like, I think what you're saying is where we need to be, but I'm saying in 2025.
Well, and that's that guy's choice. I agree.
But you're married, and so now you're about to lose half because when you say this, and now I'm the mother of your kids, and I'm like, Brian said, we got 3 kids and all this. There's always a reason, and logic and society is going to agree with the reason that, well, maybe you should put her in the mood more. Maybe like, well, I got 3 kids too, and I work and also, and I still feel sexually attracted to you and all. When it comes to sex, let's be honest. Most of the time, the woman is the person who she has access.
She controls that.
She controls access. And if for whatever reason, and I know there's going to be a lot of pushback on this, it's going to be, well, if she doesn't want to do it more, that's his fault. He should find more time. He should do this. It's all on him, right? Mm-hmm. For putting her in the mood. And I'm not even here to have that discussion. I'm just saying, if she finds a way to make her sexual needs met, even if her needs aren't as great as his, if she can orgasm twice a month, once a month, 5 times a month, once a year, and she's happy, no problems on her part. But if he needs that 10 times a month and she gives it to him once a month or not at all, because there's couples not having sex every month. I think we're talking like people are having sex.
I know a real life situation, like a real life, where he constantly told her, need more. She was like, well, you need to do this and that because I'm not in the mood. And they wound up going their separate ways. So
we just assume that having that conversation, it doesn't work that way. I mean, in social media, there's this running thing, accountability. Like, it's, hey, I got to be accountable to you, got to be accountable to me. As a couple, that's one thing Z and I are like, hey, when we both have collectively agreed to never try to withhold happiness from each other. Yeah. Right? If you're just withholding.
I just think that, and like you said, I don't think that conversation may fix all of them. I don't think that. But what I just feel like me cheating should never be a surprise. I guess that's the thing. Like, if I stepped out, you should be like, I saw that one coming. Like, and so those conversations should be had to the point where you not even mad. You like, it. Like, he been telling me he wanted this for the longest. Like, I finally watched 4 seasons, Buff, and like when the wife was like, I saw that coming. Like, I kind of knew it was coming. That's why she tried to do this whole. I think that's it. Like, you should know that it's coming.
And guess what? It did not stop her from taking his ass to court and trying to get everything.
No, I mean it's not going to fix any of that. I mean that's just
And so
making better
and
decisions.
so that's
when people
why,
marry, which is
you
why
know,
I'm all for it. Like you should date for a long time. It shouldn't be this, oh, we 6 months in and I barely know what's happening. Like I think you said it, Buffy. Like y'all need to go through some hard times first, right? You need to go through some
Yeah,
droughts
yeah.
first. But
Oh yeah,
like
that
before y'all get married, this shouldn't be this thing where like, oh, everything's been hunky dory for 6 months, so let's go get married. Because
right.
y'all haven't been through enough yet. And so I do feel like
2009 to
after a year or
2011.
two, like you'll get to that point where we've had sex enough that now you start to normalize. You're out of that honeymoon phase where we just started having sex, so we want it all the time. After about 6 months, a year, that's when you really start to know how often y'all are really gonna have sex long term.
Tried to tell a homeboy that it was all good when they wasn't living together and stuff. I'm like, of course you want to have sex every time you see her. Once you live together and you see her every day and you see her not at her best, when she just waking up in the morning or she just want to have a lazy day at the house, that's when, and then of course he moved forward and what do you know? He didn't want to have sex as much as he thought he did. What do you know?
It'd be those lazy moments that be like,
That moo on, and it's just sitting.
yeah, I'm not gonna
right.
lie, man. I'd be sitting there like, yeah, we've been married. It'll be 13 years in the next week and a half, and I can honestly
does
say,
it for you, huh?
It's not even that.
Workout clothes do it for me.
Oh yeah. My wife is just naturally beautiful to me, and I can honestly say I'm more attracted to her today than I was the first day I met her. And I'm not saying that as a, I just look up sometimes like, damn, nigga, you looked up. Like she's upgraded. I've seen her blossom into just stunning. And it's just for me, like I'm always attracted to her. Which is her problem, not mine. That's just, and I also realize I'm in a bubble. I'm not the norm, we the three of us have beautiful ladies in our lives. That's not the norm. Sometimes I sit back and I'm not some drop dead gorgeous guy by any means. I'm not a buff, right? And so
trying to say some niggas is married to ducks.
yes, nigga.
You gotta call it what it is. The norm is not the norm. Wow. Is bruh, your wife is less the norm than you can even imagine. Like your wife is, bruh. It's easy to take it for granted because I'd be talking to some people and I'd be like, yeah, this is and this one. And this is me. I'll consider like, yeah, I get it. I get it more. Right. I get it more. Right. Like I get it. Yeah. It's almost like it's like I fight for my wife. I want her to, I try to stay in shape. I try to do those things because I want her to. We swore that we're going to always try to be attractive and attracted to each other. And so it doesn't hurt that she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, we
talked about this.
We started this podcast to let people know and understand and see a glimpse into the three brothers mindset, how we live. Like, believe it or not, people look up to us. Right, like our relationships, our success, all of that, and
they just don't like me.
No, I think the thing is us having these conversations, and like you're saying, we had that conversation that we always want to be attractive to each other, right? We had that conversation about, hey, I have a high sex drive, and I want to have a high sex drive 10 years into this relationship, right? I think that's those conversations that you guys had at the beginning make a difference now. Right, y'all didn't y'all dated for 2 years before you were ready to get married, right? Like all of that matters, I think, and y'all lived together before y'all got married. Like those things make a difference in a lasting relationship, and so listeners out there, stop with that whole traditional mindset. Like we're in the 1800s where we can't stay together, we can't shack up, we can't have sex before marriage, we can't do this, and then you get married, and divorce is too easy right now. Divorce is way too easy for you to be like, oh, I'm not going to experience these things. I'm not going to go in with my eyes wide open and then think that you're going to keep this relationship or stay in this relationship. Yeah. That's the hard part.
Yeah. And since we're on that, so I would say people pay attention to red flags, but don't get red flags confused with challenges.
Right.
like there are going to be challenges in relationships. I think the earlier, and not saying, we're challenged because, his attitude and he's just, it's, when I met my wife, I was in my 20s, had a decent job in a college city, left, moved to Houston. And there was probably a year and a half where there was a huge struggle for us financially. Right? If you knew the story, like Z was catching a bus to work. Only one of our cars worked. We had 2 cars. Well, we had one, then we got another one, then one of our cars, only one car worked. And so she was catching a bus to work. I was picking her up at night. Like I'm sitting in the parking lot an hour and a half waiting on her to get up. Like we went through that. And she stuck by me every step of the way. And there was a lot of people telling her that she can do better than this. There's a lot of people telling her she didn't deserve this. There's a lot of people told her that I was going to be trash. And she saw the drive. She saw the future. We talked about the vision. We talked about what it was going to look like. And when we came out on the other side, I mean, I have a beautiful life, man. I'm not saying it to brag it, but like I've been blessed. And I think going through that with her at that time made me appreciate her more and more. And she became my person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I one of my goals is never to experience that again. So I would say she deserves the best of me, the best version of me, right? So like I'm always pushing myself because I'm like, you were with me when I was at my worst, and so you're gonna be with me at my best. And my best every day, I'm getting better. And it's not like in a perfection. I'm trying to be perfect or anything like, but when you're stagnant in life, the 3 of us are always pushing for something else. Byron has plans after he retires, and all of a sudden Risey has plans. We all have plans, and we're trying to be better. And I want this person and my person and my kids to reap the benefits of that. So have those conversations early, because I talk to people all the time, and like, how'd you do it? And they're 3 years in. I'm like, I talk about the conversation we had early on, and it's like, well, you 3 years in talking about this and now.
Right.
Might be problematic, because now you're setting your ways and now you're trying to change everything. And so, the happy wife, happy life conversations, all those random cliche BS. She told me her thoughts, her fears, all that stuff. And we learned each other early on, vulnerable, but this was a very unique show. I don't know how we got here.
Politics to sex toys. You never know what you're going to get on Three Brothers No
Yeah,
Sense. That's why we say barbershop style, baby.
Yeah. Love it.
So, fellas, go get your Risey. Are you telling everybody with a fleshlight?
No. Don't waste your money on that. So I didn't buy it. Like, it wasn't my money.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'll pass. I'll pass. So let's go ahead and close it on out.
Just a couple things for me, man. One, transparency. You guys know we talked a little bit about the scholarship, Gen Scholarship at UA and everything. And so, I texted you brothers and I said, I'm going to go ahead and sign it. And I don't want to be a hypocrite, right? I was on this platform, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, I ain't signing shit. Screw UA and this, that, and the other. But I just let you guys know, I talked to Jen's mom, and what she told me kind of resonated. And so I went ahead and signed it this morning. But she was like, Jen knew what she was doing when she went to UA. She went to a PWI, like her grandma, her mom, everybody was like, why are you going to a predominantly white institution? UA is historically racist, yada, yada, yada. And Jen chose UA knowing that. And Jen wanted to drive her legacy there, and that was her choice and everything. And then she was like, how can you change UA, and how can you keep pushing to against this DEI, against everything else, if you're not inside of the system trying to change it from within there. And so with all that, I went ahead and I signed it, because all it really just changed the documentation of it. The process, the selection, and all that stuff is still going through the Black Alumni and everything. And so they changed it to Malone Society. That's the new name of the Black Alumni. Malone was the first Black graduate of UA. And so it's kind of cool, the history behind that and everything. And so that's where they're going to create a whole website for that. They're going to put the blurbs there. So they are going to still kind of support what's happening there, but they had to separate it from the endowment side of it. And so talking to them, talking through the legality of it all, it sucks. I hate we have to do it and play by these racist rules, but we got to do what we got to do and still support her legacy, because it's the scholarship isn't about me. It's about her and about her legacy and what she wanted to do with it. And so I went ahead and signed it. I'm kind of mad about it, but I just wanted to be transparent with the listeners out there, the folks that have been rocking with us, know the history and the how much that scholarship means to me and us and everybody else. And so and I just want anybody who donated over the last 5 years with it, I want you to know that I'm being a good steward of that money for you, and we're still trying to kind of push that legacy. So just wanted to throw that out there, man, and be transparent with everybody.
I don't have anything, man. Just make sure you subscribe to us on any podcast platform. Download the Inspire You on Air app and check us out on Contentville. And also check us out on threebuttersnosense.com. We have merch. You can listen to the latest episode. But just rock with us, man. I'm looking at like the growth on YouTube, even though we don't even post all the time, but we have gotten better, I would say, over the last few months. And we appreciate every new follower, every new listener. I want you to know it matters. Like we don't take any of you guys for granted. Like this August would be 5 years for us. It's a 6. Or is it 6?
5 for us. We started 2019. So yeah, it'd be 6.
6, yeah. So yeah, we 6 years in, and look, we know we could take the expedient route and just do clickbait type content, man. But one of the things we do, man, is we keep it real here. And that's not probably the fastest way to grow, like some of the more red pill toxic podcasts, but we've been true to ourselves. And that's what I want you guys to remember, whether you disagree with us or think we're completely wrong on something. At the end of the day, we're using our life experiences to influence our opinion. We don't claim to always be right. Hell, there's been a lot of times we come back several episodes later like, you know what? I was wrong on that one. Oh, I changed my mind on that one. So at first, I don't even think you hate it anymore. I think the listeners have come around on you, bro. Like I've watched.
At least we admit I was hated.
Yes, you were. But they come around, man. So I just wanted to put that out there, man. Thank you guys for rocking with us, and if you can, let a couple of more people know about us, and hopefully they'll get put on and check us out consistently as well. But thank you guys for checking us out.
Yep, for sure.
Well, that being said, I don't have much. Once again, want to give a shout out to my family, the people we get to celebrate this weekend. Rise, I get to see this weekend. We're going on a trip going to Miami, Buff's hometown, and
you idiot.
Home away from home, I guess.
Hey, man, some of my coworkers listen to this, dog, and they already think that's true, man.
Hey, man, that's how I remember it, bro. That's how I remember
coworkers, we do too. So
yes.
We think it's true.
Wow, conspiracy theorists. I need to see your birth certificate.
Yeah.
But and we're doing a cruise, so Virgin Cruise. Shout out to Virgin Cruise. Rise, this is your first time going on a Virgin Cruise, so hopefully you enjoy it. But I had a couple of things to say outside of actually watched the WNBA All-Star Game. It was pretty good. It was pretty entertaining. They had the 4-point shot. I think the highlight of it was pre-game when they came out with the shirts that says "Pay us what you owe us" or something like that, to that effect, because they had a meeting with the CBA earlier, and very interested to see how that goes. I mean, there's should be some new funds available through their TV deal and all that, but we shall see. I think it's a very pivotal time for the WNBA. They have to be strategic. I think everybody has to be in it together, and I hope the best for those ladies. And
I'm loving the growth, though. I'm loving it. Like we asked at the beginning of the season, would it be kind of true growth, and would like a lot of people stay this season that started last season? And I think they maintained or held on to a lot of fans that we thought would be just fair weather there. So it's really good growth. So I'm excited for them.
So we'll see. But with that being said, 3 Brothers No Sense, 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.
Later, guys.